Xenos. Hopefully that stays behind. Xenos here. Got a few notes on my pad, and if you read the title, self-love, self-hate, self-discovery, there was something else I feel like I cannot remember, but this is your reading with here with me today, and uh, if I'm a little off, it's because I'm sick and I'm like not really hearing as well as I should. So I'm not even sure if you guys can hear me, but yeah. But let's get into it. So I'm going to go with the library of practical informations, and we're just going to see what we get. I'm also going to pick out a prompt that you can do in your own time from this book called The ABCs of Self-Love, a simple guide to loving yourself, reclaiming your worth, and changing your life by Melody Godfrey, the self-love philosopher. I actually got this book from my job. I thought it was interesting. It just gave us it gave prompts. Like it feels like my ears are not popping for whatever reason, but anyway, let's go. Okay. Common sense. Also see candor, intelligence, prudence, reason, and understanding. Common sense is in spite of, not as a result of education. Victor Hugo. Let me actually write that down. Uh, and that's just interesting. I mean, I was going to read this quote up here, but I was just like, since it cut off, I'm not really gonna turn the page or anything. But then I see practical information just kind of reads common sense. Oh, okay. Well, no, it's not the right page. But, okay. Christianity does not remove you from the world and its problems. It makes you fit to live in it triumphantly and usefully. Charles Templeton. Uh, well, I'm not really a Christian, so that doesn't really make sense to me. My bad. uh, and another one, civilization ceases when we no longer respect and no longer put into their correct places the fundamental values such as work, family, and country, such as the individual, honor, and religion. R.P. Libret. I'm actually going to write that one down because that rings a lot of more bells. So, getting that out the way, uh, your ABCs of self love. And today you have trust. The answer to the questions you spent a lifetime asking. Will everything be okay? Am I okay? Did I do enough? Will it ever be enough? Will I feel it? Will I feel it? The happiness, the wholeness, the peace, the love, the joy, the connection I so deeply crave. Yes, if you allow it. Cool. T. Trust. The world is simply a reflection of us. When we trust ourselves, we trust the universe. When we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust the universe. And either way, the universe listens and the universe complies. When you trust yourself, you start building momentum. You make choices, you make moves, you stop waiting, and the universe rewards your faith and conspires in your favor. When you don't trust yourself and are instead indecisive or self doubting, the universe is paralyzed. Your doubt invariably makes even the right decisions wrong ones. Imagine instead of believe, Imagine instead if you believed in every decision you ever made was the right one, regardless of the outcome. Think about what your world would look like then. But here's the thing, sometimes just when you think you have it all figured out, it all falls apart. This isn't the universe testing you. You didn't make a mistake by trusting yourself or trusting the universe. This is just the universe reminding you that progress isn't linear. All is not lost. You're still on the way. Keep going. Now, the self love in action. A daily gratitude practice is one way to cultivate trust. Oftentimes, when good things happen to us, we say, I can't believe it. Because when we don't trust ourselves or the universe, our blessings feels otherworldly, not real, not ours. Compare this with how we treat our worries. We believe them, boy, do we believe them. To challenge these habits, start or end each day with this gratitude in practice. I believe, followed by all the good things you have going for you. That's something I actually need to do, but um, I actually did get stuck on the letter L, which was light. And it was talking about that, the lights within you and following the light, I suppose. I actually could read it, but yeah, let me read it and then I'll explain what got me stumped. It was so weird. I worried myself into the darkness. I loved myself into the light. The definition of the word light is one of my favorites. The word encompasses so many unique definitions and yet play into each other so gracefully. Light is what stimulates sight and makes things visible. Light is brilliance, illumination. To see light is to become enlightened, to unravel a mystery. To be a light is to be a leader, a luminary, and expert. Lightness is simplicity, ease, gentleness, weightlessness, freedom from worry, freedom itself. Your inner light is what makes you you. When ignited, it makes you feel the most alive and most free. Understanding your light and nurturing it is how you discover your purpose and build a life in alignment with your true, authentic self. In short, practicing self love is what illuminates your entire world with a flame of one match you. So be light in its myriad of definitions. Be the light that illuminates the world. Shed the weight of uncertainty, risk, anger, resentment, doubt, guilt, shame, and be light. Unravel the mystery of yourself and let your inner light set your soul on fire. Be light, be light, be light. And it said, my light is. Actually, let me read this part. Use the power of the flame as your symbol of self illumination and empowerment. Light a candle every night for a week, and as you watch the flame, imagine it's your own inner light flickering. Go within yourself and discover what your light needs so that you can feel light, give light, and be light. And then it asks, what is your light? Or my light is. So I get that it's talked about letting go and uh, can't be on my towel. Yes. Here. Um, but it was asking what my light was, and I couldn't come up with a definite answer for that, or even just a simple answer for that. Um, it's not because I don't see light within myself or anything. It's just that it doesn't make sense in a way. Um, when it comes to the light, it's like a purpose, or I guess seeing on the brighter side of things. But I spent most of my life consistently in the dark of things and not really having a path to go anywhere. Um, and that's kind of been a struggle going in and out of, the light or whatnot. But I feel when it comes to the darkness, I'm not really in this mode of being displeased with myself. I just don't understand why. And we always have to ask, why this, why that, why? But sometimes you just don't get the answers to the whys. And I think that's what I'm just like, um, what the light is. And this also goes back to that reading I did last time when we talked about um, the lady that I came up to and asked her, what's how do you know that you spot a broken person? And I don't even think that we are all inherently broken if we have some type of mental disorder or, um, you know, or anything like that. I just think that when it comes to your mental disorders, sometimes they can take over, and it's not more so of a will thing, it's more so of a mind thing, being too in your head and overthinking. And I do that a lot. I have a lot of overthinking tendencies. I always, I don't want to say always, I'm not always in self doubt. I just have this mode of just not really understanding why I act the way that I act. And I feel like that's what self love is about. It's not about, getting worse, it's more so about getting better at managing your own self and understanding that you are just going through a living experience and emotions are just part of that. The only thing about it is you can't let your emotions run over you or run wild. Um, and this also brings into perspective because when I was being open about being a trans individual, she spoke as if it was something wrong with me, but urged me to read something about the Israelites, or uh, when they talked about the real Christ or Jesus, um, or the real Jewish people, something of that sort. I don't really understand it, nor do I really want to try to understand something that so belligerently is transphobic. And I even told her that I said that that's not something that I want to include myself in if they just, are against trans people. Um, and when I gave her the scenario, okay, so what if a trans woman and a trans man have children and stuff? And she was like, uh, well, that's fine because it's still a man and a woman, and they just can't dress the way that they want to dress. And I just don't understand why we give clothes such a gendered perspective when it's just like they're just to cover our bodies. Back in the day, we didn't have shit to cover our bodies except for probably a cloth. But we're so worried about what clothes should look like and how we should fit ourselves. And we're so used to sexualizing the human body that we just don't see them as just fucking parts of an organ. Our whole skin is a fucking organ, so why the hell are we sexualizing body parts to that degree? There's nothing wrong with being sexual. There's nothing wrong with exploring sexuality and, you know, being polyamorous, being monogamous, and whatever the other word is. Uh, there's nothing wrong with exploring sexuality because sexuality is just part of human nature. Even people that don't have, um, who are asexual, who don't experience sexual attraction, there are some asexuals who are sex positive, uh, but they just don't experience sexuality the same as allosexuals. And it's such a fucking mystery why we put so much importance on what it means to just live as a person, while we put so much on the physical instead of realizing that the soul is not just in your mind, your it's literally part of your vessel. You have the mind, the body, and the soul. Those are separate for a reason, but they still coexist together. The mind is separate from the soul because the mind only functions, well, I don't want to say only function, it functions as navigating you through your everyday life, just getting everything at face value, hiding things in the, or pushing things to the subconscious or unconscious. um, the body is what gets you through the day, gets you moving, keeps you healthy, and the soul is just the lessons you learn and everything that you're doing to grow as a person. And it just, I ever since I was a kid, I just never understood why we put so much importance on clothes and how people should behave, and stuffing people into gender roles when it's like everybody can do that. It's not just a one gender thing. Everybody can do that. Everybody should know basic skills of how to cook and how to clean. It's not just a one gender thing. It just shouldn't be a woman thing, you know. Everybody should learn how to hunt, how to gather food, how to work. It's not just a man thing. It's just something that I always thought of when I was young. Um, and I was kind of just put off about the whole Christianity thing in the first place. It was just never my style because it just felt like, um, the people who were making these ideals about Christianity were just putting up a front of just trying to control people and how people should be, when in reality we're not supposed to be controlled. We're supposed to be unique and free to be ourselves and express who we are, who we want to be. It's the same way with expressing about who you want to be with. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, do you know how long it took for LGBT people to go from shitty stereotypes to actually getting good representation in fucking films, movies, shows? I watched two of them, two movies. Strange World and Nimona. And I was just surprised that like we was literally two dudes kissing on the screen. Most people would be like, hell no, 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 that's so bad. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. And the other one was just about this teen boy who was just expressing his fucking crush and shit. And the surprising idea that his grandfather wasn't like that. Ah, that made my heart melt. His family was so supportive, especially his dad, you know, and that was beautiful to me. Uh, and this the movie that I was talking about, the first movie I was talking about, Nimona. Um, I also want to talk about the whole inherently evil thing. I don't think people are evil. Um, they can be evil by choice, but evil isn't born, it's made through the world putting people down to the degree where they feel like they're so alone that they don't have anybody to go to. They don't have anybody to lean on for support. So they just go to different modes of um, doing choices that aren't even good for them. Um, and that's just really it's really sad to me because I don't even want to spoil it, but I suggest that you watch Pneumonia. I hope I'm saying her name right. It's on Netflix. It's hard. It's not even hard to miss because it's about this monster girl and this knight. And they actually did a trailer like 5 days ago or something. So funny. I actually watched it today. That was what made me watch it today. Um, but anyway, that's enough. And another thing about gender roles, I feel like the way that we see how families should be this nuclear family, or the mom and a dad having all of these kids, why do we focus so much on there being just heterosexual families? Families do just as well if they're in or just as bad. Honestly, it can go either fucking way because in every scenario, no matter who or what the person is, it's mostly just depending. What Caden had said, it's a wonderful trans guy, love him, but he said in the video that anybody, regardless if they're cis, trans, straight, gay, etc., and so on, no matter what, it's only that individual that is a horrible being if they choose to be a horrible being. And it shouldn't be representation of the entire community as a whole. And I feel like hearing that actually kind of puts some stuff in perspective when it comes to our own, and it's a too weird, too weird trigger warning. When it came to our own issues, when it's with assault and you know what I'm saying. Let's say um, we had this like really weird hate that was just built up towards cis guys for the fucking longest. I kid you not. Um, yeah, we had our crushes and everything, but it didn't matter because we were just so stuck on um, how we were a victim and the perpetrators getting away that we just didn't care about. We just thought of every single one as just, they're weird. And to some degree, most people are weird, but it's just that person. It's not just everyone. Everybody's a little weird, but sometimes you're weird to the point to where you're actually scaring people. And I know that I'm weird. I am silent. I don't like talking. I know that I'm weird. I just know that when I'm being weird, it's not because I'm angry at people or anything. It's just because I prefer being alone. I prefer being to myself. It's my own safe space, being to myself. Anyway, without further ado, I know this was a long ass conversation, but it was just like something that kind of popped up. Actually, before I continue on, there was something, the notes that I wrote down. I got a notification from the moon that was like, I don't know what you want from me. I also have 4 mosquito bites, and our period had lasted for 4 or 5 days, give or take, and we're sick for the same amount of time. We're still getting out of the sickness, but it was kind of an indication that sickness was coming. Since mosquitoes are mostly known for spreading diseases and whatnot, so it was like a sickness that was already on its way. I mean, we've been knew that since our niece was coughing and shit, but it was kind of the sickness that was putting you out of fucking commission for the fucking longest. Shivers, shivers mean timbers. Anyway, um, but the moon was like, I don't know what you want from me. So I feel like there's something that's not being clear. That's not, in a sense, in a clear, something that's not getting cleared, or something that's just not getting by in the clearest of ways. I don't even know what the word is, but let's just fuck it. Let's discover it. See what's going on. And our fucking space was a mess. A whole fucking mess. For a while. We also saw a couple of fruit flies. For some reason, we just started thinking of fruit flies as like little fairies. I don't know why. I mean, they kind of seem like fairies, you know? They kind of seem like fairies. It's actually interesting. Because they do like fruit, you know? Fairies love gifts and shit. Or, you know what I mean. I hope you do. I hope you can actually hear me. I'm kind of talking low. I don't even know if I'm being loud enough. I can't even hear myself, kind of. I'm kind of just, I'm blocked in the ears. I can't even fucking hear myself right, But anyway, let's see what's in your cards. Oh, fuck. Okay. You have crying spells, dysphoria. Sheesh. Blow me the fucking Connecticut out, that shit. Feminine. Running from my old deck? Turbulence. Binging. We have Aries, Capricorn, Learn, um, Distrust. Okay, Scorpio. Okay, what is with the signs today? What is with the signs? We have Anchor. Oh, that brings me back. Okay. We have Mind and Clients. And we have self-love and depression. Self-love is also with self. Or not, it has love on the back. It has depression and acceptance. We learn to love life. Where are my glasses? Oh, shit. Oh, here they are. So blind I couldn't even see the glasses. It was literally sitting right there. Told you guys, it's not a joke. So, crying spells client. Racist. That's not funny. That's not funny. That is not funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. I just giggle. I giggle a lot. Feminine with masculine on the back. Aries, look within. Capricorn, diamond in the rough. Scorpio, inner wounds. Anchor, carefree. Mind, overthinking. What's funny? The bird thing I just took out earlier. And we got learn, numbers, binging, feel good. So I know you see that mess of Powell clothes in the back, but don't pay attention to it. Anyway, you have. I want to start with Anchor because like this rings so many bells to me. Um, I'm actually going to reference Teen Wolf in this. If you haven't seen it, don't worry. I don't even remember most of what happened. I just remember this one specific scene with Scott and his mom. But he was talking about how his ex had died, and then he didn't have her anchor because I think her name was Abigail or something, but she was she was his anchor, and it's like his mom was like, "You need to be your own anchor. You need to be your own, you know, you need to be your own person that you go to when shit gets rough or when you can't control, transforming into a wolf." But you get the references and shit. Like it was just you need to be your own person, um, and not really hold on to the idea of what you have for needing her in order to be whole or to be able to control your own self, And I feel like there's a lot of distrust when it comes to your own mind. Yeah, overthinking on the back too. Ophelia, fucking Ophelia. I actually wrote it down. Give me like a second. Okay. Oh, oh, excuse me. Oh, here it is. I love when Ophelia comes out, but at the same time, she kind of fucks me up though. But Ophelia in Hamlet is a character who is jilted by Hamlet in love, controlled by her brother Laertes and father Polonius, and ultimately broken and mentally drowned to death. So, femininity and fragility, driven mad by her father and murdered by Hamlet. So, I never read Hamlet myself, but give or take. Also, feminine is here. So, there's like, when it comes to Ophelia, she didn't really have choices that she could make her own self. And you know how Hamlet is. He fucking loves tragedies. Not Hamlet, Shakespeare. He loves tragedies. So Ophelia was a tragedy. uh, but when it came to her, it's like she she wasn't a good example of strong femininity. Um, and yes, her story is tragic. Maybe it could have went somewhere else, but um, you know how authors are. They like giving angst and shit. I'm the same way, but Ophelia is a lesson in all of it. Um, I forgot what the hell I said. When she first came up, it was so interesting because it was like I didn't really expect it, but the distrust when it comes to your own mind. And we were talking about the mind, the body, and the soul earlier. The mind is what gives you the information that you actually see and shit. Is connected to your eyes, but eh, but the distrust. I feel like it's learning to not really distrust, but to calm your own self, and this is a lot easier said than done. I always say that it is, but when it comes to your inner wounds, your mind and your body work together because your body always keeps count, and your mind will sometimes it will either it's like a spectrum. Either it blocks the memories that you have that are traumatic, or you remember all of them, and it kind of drives you to the point to where you're not mentally able to care for yourself in the ways that you should, or you just you wind up in one of the institutes. Been there before, won't be back again. Better believe that. Um, and dysphoria. Maybe there's some trans people out there that's watching this. Myself, yeah. But I feel like it's a need to bring that back from dysphoria to euphoria, not the show. Um, and the ways that I've learned to deal with dysphoria is more so. Let me think. I cut off my hair. Yeah. Whenever I feel like it's getting too long, even though it's not even that fucking long, I cut it off. Sometimes I just go bald. And I realized since being an adult, I have that freedom. When I was younger, didn't really have that freedom to do it myself, and I refused to let other people cut my hair because um, it was actually this dude that my dad had cut my hair, but it was just something that he said that threw me the fuck off about because I wanted like I really wanted a fucking fade, and I know how to do it myself, but I don't want it anymore. It's not really my hairstyle I want to go to, but um, he said something about not wanting he giving me the female fade or whatnot, and that just threw me the fuck off. It's like so fucking stupid too. Um, but I think that when it comes to doing my own hair and actually trying to calm down the turbulence that goes in my mind, it actually takes a lot of energy and patience. And also learning to trust yourself. What was trust about in the book? Trust. Leading yourself and your choices through trust. And look within, I haven't even gotten to binging yet. I have such an issue with binging. Just don't know. Um, and I feel like when it comes to, because on the back of depression you have acceptance. Um, Binging kind of goes hand in hand with depression, especially distrust, also in turbulence, crying spells or crying. It goes hand in hand with a lot of issues that depression will bring up. Um, and when it comes to depression, I kind of just let it have its fits and kind of go back to my mania. Uh, but sometimes depression lasts longer than I would want it to, and sometimes I just can't find my way out of it. Um, and sometimes I just can't find my way out of it. But the thing is, depression is just for the moment, and it's not a forever thing. Um, and with depression, low tolerance. With depression, though, it's more so just not building a tolerance for it, but having to build up the tolerance of shaking it off. Um, and it takes a lot of work, especially when you have been dealing with it for years or even decades. It takes a lot out of you to learn how, or to unlearn those behaviors or self sabotaging behaviors that you once had. It's time to go back to being carefree, a little wild. You could be, actually, you could be a Capricorn, Scorpio, or Aries, but I'm actually going to talk about those signs a bit. Um, I have a Scorpio moon, so I feel things very deeply. I'm always in my mind. I'm constantly in a shifting mood. Uh, you know how scorpions are, where you get too close, so then they stab you with their stinger. It's kind of like that. It's a lot of issues that Scorpio have when it comes to closeness and in community. Well, no, actually, Scorpios are really good at community. There was this video that I had watched of baby scorpions, um, and they grew better in a community because they hid under the same rock instead of different hiding places, and they were all huddled together. So I think Scorpios are really good at community and communication. Aries, they're very bold, very outspoken. Um, Capricorns, complete opposite. They're like rocks to a fucking wall. Um, you can literally blow wind at the wall and it just wouldn't budge, it wouldn't move. Um, always have their guard up, you know. One thing that I do have to say is that they have a lot of tenacity and are very have a lot of power. They're strong-willed as fuck. That's what I can say. And I think that with every sign, there's a lot that you can learn, but every sign also has their drawbacks. Um, and my sign is a Leo. Um, and one thing I can say is that I don't even think that I actually get full of myself. I feel like I don't get full of myself enough. As weird as that fucking sounds, you know. But I am stubborn as hell. That's one thing I can say. I have a lot of stubborn issues. Um, I'm gonna use these. Yeah, I've been having the Tarot of the Divine for. I actually lost my other deck and I don't know where the fuck it went. I don't even remember losing it. I just remember putting it somewhere and then not remembering where I put it because I was actually gonna tape it up, but then it just like vanished into thin air. I don't fucking know, you know. But I'm going to use the Horror deck and the Tarot of Divine. I just love the Tarot of Divine. And I'm also going to do a little bit of Cartomancy. I actually love this deck simply because I saw the dragon on there, so I was instantly like, fuck yeah. I love dragons, man. I love them. Uh, So I'm going to start with these. Um, One thing I can say of being a Leo is that maybe I don't get full of myself enough, but I feel like I have a lot of inner dialogue that doesn't really. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I'll get back to that thought. But I realized there was this video of this girl that was like, you know what? The less I start thinking that, I was ugly and I was all this and that and this, and I start feeling myself more, I started doing, being more confident in myself, I started realizing I wasn't ugly. I was just lacking the confidence. And I fucking feel that so hard. But I'm still working on that. It's a work in progress and I'm loving it. I feel like it's all about trying what you like with your appearance. I mean, for me, I actually like keeping my brows cut. The only reason I do is because I feel like it doesn't really show that it doesn't show that much expression or something. It's weird because uh, sometimes I just blankly stare, and it's not even just because I'm thinking about something. I just mentally tap out. Dissociate like a motherfucker. Anyway, let's see what cards. So you have the sun. I think that's Horus. Horus. I think so. Yes. It's not Ra. It's not Ra. He has a whole different signature. Actually, let me check. I don't want. I think it is him. He has a whole different symbol on his head though. So I'm like definitely sure it's him, but I'm not sure 100%. Nope, it's Ra. Yeah. I had to make sure. See, Horus and Ra, they have the same fucking head. It's not an eagle. I forgot what it was, but they have the same bird head, but they have different symbols. Uh, when it comes, or different symbol things on the head. I forgot what it's called. Whatever the crown thing. I don't think it's a crown. But I always get them mixed up. It's just been a long time struggle for that. But, well, Horus is his son. And took over as the ruler of Egypt. I'm like, my memory is being displaced, so it's been a while since I kind of went into Egyptian mythology, but if I'm wrong, I'm just wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm just wrong. I actually do love Egyptian mythology. Anubis is my favorite of them all. I don't know why I love it. Nine of Coins, okay. So I think the light is literally at the end of the tunnel. It's just like you. Seven of Cups, okay. I definitely think the light is at the end of the tunnel. It's just a matter of clearing space, clearing house, I should say. Page of Coins. I want to get one more. I'll get one more. You have the Page of Wands in reverse. So. And on the back you have the Nine of Swords. Okay. Actually been wanting to do cartomancy for a long while, but I just haven't really kind of dived into it as much as I wanted to. Kind of just been nervous about it because it doesn't really have pictures. But I know what each of the decks are, or each of the houses. What is it called when it's different? I don't know. I'm not even sure. Call it my brain. It's not functioning right. Um, Justice in reverse. Two of Cups with Dracula and Lady. Seven of Wands. King of Wands in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse, and Judgment in reverse. Ooh, oh, another card wants to come out. You also have the Two of Pentacles on the back. And the Knight of Swords. Let's see if I can fit that. Yeah. Ooh. Two of Hearts, Three of Hearts. Knight of... I don't even know what the fuck. Let me stop. I'm just gonna say them in terms of it like a tarot deck, but I think those are spades. Those are spades. Those are clubs. Those are clubs. Those are clubs. Knight of clubs. Knight of clubs. Oh, brother, I am. Oh, I knew it. A Joker was gonna come out, but something's wild gonna happen. Most definitely. And you have the Knight of Diamonds. If you have the Two of Clubs, on the back you have the Page of Clubs. I'm still using terms of tarot decks, but I'm gonna give you a reference. Hearts are cups. Clubs are the wands, and the diamonds are the pentacles. And if you see the spades, they're the swords. Already an hour into this. Almost. Anyway, let's get started. I want to get started with the Horror Tarot deck because like something is throwing me off with this. Oh shit. Didn't even mean to turn it on, but I want to start with the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups because the the Two of Cups. There's two people holding each other, and then the Two of Pentacles is two hands reaching out to each other. On the back, you have the fucking Chariot in reverse, though. So, I definitely think that before I start, did I say this earlier? Yeah, I did. I did say it earlier when I was talking about the deck I lost. Really quick. Anyway. Oh my god. That outfit is cute. I like it. My ears are still clogged up. But you have the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups is um kind of insignificance with each other because with Justice and Judgment, you started with Justice and you almost ended with Judgment, but they're both in reverse. So it's like a decision has yet to be made. Um, and I feel like it has something to do with a love situation. And I don't even read cards for love, but it's so fucking obvious to me. It's so fucking obvious. Um, and you see with the King of Wands, he's kind of looking back. But the King of Pentacles is looking at this girl, another pair. Um, I'm actually gonna keep these. I'm gonna give me a moment. I gotta make note of what was. I gotta make note of what was in reverse before I turn them up because I'm probably going to forget. Um, okay. So I'm gonna keep the Judgment and Justice in reverse because it just seems fitting. I already feel like they're gonna play a part, but I'm just gonna keep them in reverse for now. But I feel like when it comes to this love situation, you're kind of hot and cold because you're not sure if it's something that's for you. Because as you can see, um, with the Seven of Wands, it's like it kind of snuck up on you or some shit. That's what I'm kind of seeing. And it's also like, I feel like you're scared of your own emotions. And you see that it's this guy, or I think that's Bigfoot. Let me stop fucking giggling and shit. It's this girl. Almost lose her shoe and shit. Sounds like a Cinderella story, but not really typical. But it's also reminding me of this. card that's in Dark Mirror about the poison apple and Snow White. It can look like that, but what if it's something else? And if you're wrong, then you're just wrong, but it doesn't mean that you didn't give it a try, you know? And it's also because judgment is about coming back from the dead, and justice is like, justice is blind, actually. It has a cloth over its eyes. So you're not even, I don't even think you're objectively looking at the situation in a sense of giving the right judgment. I feel like you're already cutting it off. Not cutting it off, but you're already just like um, kind of over it, you know? Uh, and I feel like when it comes to the, I don't even want to say monster, when it comes to Bigfoot, sorry, sorry. When it comes to Bigfoot and this girl, it's like she's terrified, but Bigfoot ain't even doing shit. Not funny. Bigfoot not even doing shit though. Like he's just standing there and just like, what the fuck? But she's terrified out of her mind. Um, and it's also funny because is he holding the monkey's paw? Or no, that's his hand. It's like this King of Wands is like, come over here, I'm giggly as hell, but it's not because I'm literally I'm just giggly as hell right now. But I feel like it's gonna play out to be something funny, I feel. And with the Knight of Swords, it's like they're looking back and actually trying to see the situation for what it is. And I also feel like with the Page of Wands, it's more so not even this whole top row doesn't have anything to do with the romantic situation. It's more so about self because I see you going towards what you want, and I feel like with the Nine of Coins, it's like something is missing. And when you see the Nine of Swords, you're basically thinking that a premonition is going to come true without you actually testing the premonition for yourself. Because in this card, I forgot his name, but he's upset because the oracle is like, your son is going to kill you, and then it hadn't even come true because he's still a fucking baby. So it's like you're in the early stages of everything, but you're already deciding that, oh fuck, this is gonna suck, or this is gonna blah 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 blah. It's like you're already deciding that that shit is going to happen without actually trying it out. And this is also what the Seven of Cups is about, because the Seven of Cups is always about not really seeing, um, not really, sorry, I'm blanking out, but it's like the Seven of Cups isn't even remotely. It's like the Seven of Cups is all about different apps, but in each cup you don't really know what you're going to get because some of them are bad, but some of them are good. Um, but I feel like you're trying to start off on a journey, but you're extremely worried about financial situations rather than going straight head first. And I feel like that's why the Page of Coins and the Page of Wands is kind of in reflection of each other, because you can see it's kind of going. Let me show you. I mean, you might get what I'm seeing, but maybe not. But you kind of see it going in like a turning motion, or they're just going back and forth to each other. It's like you start off on something and then you give up because you're like, no, it won't get money that way, or no, I won't do something this way. It's like being indecisive as hell, because I feel like when it comes to the mind always plays tricks on you if you don't discern um, what is your energy and what is somebody else's. Because regardless of who you are, we always pick up on energies. Um, we all do. It's just a matter of if you're able to discern that energy from yours. But I really feel like there is a surprise coming for you. Um, and I just think, because we have the Two of Cups, we Two of Cups twice actually, and you also have the Three of Cups. So it's like a connection, a community, or something along that line. There's going to be a helping hand to you. And I don't even think the Two of Pentacles is inherently romantic. Actually, it could go both ways. I mean, whatever fits your boat, whatever floats your boat, you know. But it's not even a human hand. Never mind. But it looks like that monster's. I don't even. What is it? It's not even a monster. It's like this Bigfoot. I don't even know who that is. I'm just gonna call him Bigfoot. You know. I'm just gonna call him Bigfoot. But it looks like Bigfoot's hand. You know. anyway, anyway, you have the Knight of Wands. And you also have the Knight of Pentacles. And it's funny because you have the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So the fact that both of their knights had came out, um, the fact that both of their knights came out, I feel like is something that needs to actually take shape. Um, and I believe that the Knight of Wands is actually the slowest of the wands. Not the slowest in like, you know, it moves slow. Well, yeah, it does, but in a sense of just like there's a choice that's going to be made, but it's going to be made in due time. I feel like this Joker is just like a surprise that's going to pop up in the middle of nowhere that you don't even realize is going to happen. And with the Knight of with the Knight of Pentacles, oh, with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like there's going to be a financial windfall. I mean, as long as you're taking, like the sun, taking the steps that you need in order to. It's a Knight of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Oh, shit. And you have the King of Cups on the back of this ace. I was actually, because I was confused on why it was so off to the side until I just looked. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna talk about those right now. But there is a choice that is going to be made in due time. Um, whether you choose to pursue this love situation or this financial situation is going to be entirely up to you. I feel like you need to use your own discernment in your mind, in your gut, in your, you know, talk about it with yourself, I guess. Talk about it with yourself to make that right decision, because I feel like uh, it's funny because there was this post that I had heard earlier that your body automatically tells you how you feel about people, you know, and uh, whether you get bad energy or good energy, X, Y, and Z. Um, and it's funny. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that, but it's okay. It's okay. I was gonna get there one of these days. Um, One thing I actually did think about when it came to sickness is that I only slow down when I'm sick. Like literally, mentally, physically, I only slow down when I'm sick. But when I'm doing anything else, like when I'm not sick, I either overthink or I always think I gotta move quickly, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like sickness isn't inherently a bad thing. It's just more so of a just having this understanding that you are going through something, so you should take this time to slow down and actually re-evaluate. So you have the child I was meant to be on the back, parasites, peaceful among thorns, and atonement. So there's a lot of sword play here. Um, and I'm actually going to read Parasite from this, but I feel like when it comes to our own mind and our own feelings, we kind of get caught up in this idea that we aren't worthy enough to have X, Y, and Z, when in reality, we are all worthy enough, regardless of past transgressions. Um, it was actually funny. It was this video that was like, you can't forgive yourself and not really seek forgiveness of those that you wronged. Um, no, it wasn't me. It was this video that I watched of this guy. I also linked one of his videos in one of my old videos about malignant shame. If you look up that title, you'll see all his videos. But he was talking about Christianity, and he's a licensed therapist, by the way, but or I think psychologist. I don't know for sure, but he was talking about religions oftentimes tell you that you must forgive yourself regardless if the person forgives you. And I have this internalized shame compass that I used to always have to be apologetic for. Um, and this is something that I don't even like my niece doing. She always apologizes for stuff that she can't control, and I always like tell her that it's okay, but I just don't understand what she's apologizing for. And I guess that's something that I should actually have a talk with her about. But um, I used to be like that, and I used to always apologize for simply being myself. And that is something that you can't apologize for unless you've done something that was detrimental to someone else. I don't see why you should apologize for simply being your own self. Um, and yeah, sometimes I get annoyed when she gets loud and stuff, but I'm just like, she's a kid. I'll just let her do what she wants because kids are supposed to be loud. They're supposed to be weird. They're going through all of these changes that we ourselves have went through when we were young. So it's no point in shaming those things because it's just what's because you can't really build their confidence on just being disrespectful to how they are growing themselves. Um, and I feel like you should always let kids make their own mistakes and learn from them. This is also something. Um, It took me a long time for my niece's hamsters to actually eat from my fingers. And I stress this a lot when it comes to her. You have to be patient, you have to be consistent in what you do. This isn't the first time that I told her, but she got so upset because the hamster wasn't eating from her hand. Um, and I guess she was a kid, so this is like a big issue for her, especially since it's her pet that she's taking care of. But and eventually, it did take the food from her hand, and she's had her longer than me, so I don't know. But when it comes to any living organism, it takes time to build the trust. And she was trying to forcefully give or make her hamster trust her when I knew that in some ways your pets will never forget how you treated them. Regardless if it was good or bad, they will still have the memories of what happened. So they kind of work in this way, even how humans work, they kind of work in this way of how you treated me is going to affect me. Um, she kept trying to force trust with the hamster. And the thing about it is, even with humans, it takes a lot to gain trust of another being. And because you are getting to know them and having them get used to you, that is where the trust kind of plays a part, and where patience plays a part because you have to slowly get to know people and um, kind of move at a pace to what is comfortable for not only you but for that other person. And if you're trying to move too fast, that's over compensating, that's not compromising at all. And compromise is supposed to work both ways. It's not just supposed to work one way, and it's not even compromise if it works one way. um, it's just fucking you over or fucking them over in a sense. It's not compromise if it's not going to work both ways. You know what I mean? That's really just all it is. And with 19, we have Parasite, Moon Phase, Waxing Present, Stage Depression. When the only answer to lack of self efficiency is to cling to another one. A long haired man a pale faced heavy a pale faced heavy eyelids. That doesn't make sense, that sentence. But I'm gonna keep going. A dull chain drapes over his forehead, around his body, and through his body. A poisonous ivy glows and clings subtly to him. Sentence. Why can't what can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together, going dark. Relationships are not a zero sum game. Of course, using each other is part of the game, but it's different when use take the shape of supporting rather than manipulating or exploiting. In the long run, a good relationship is a win-win where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, is it? Not just in bad relationships. In the short run, bad is bound to happen in the house of true love. We cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom and support. And on the other hand, we get mangled, bitten, demanded on. Well, it happens. It happened, and it will happen again. It is part of the game. But if it happens too often, it creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victim or the perpetrator, as poison is shared equally. One gets the pain, the other one gets the advantage. But the toxic part, they both get. Fully a parasite, a leech kills itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrifices the journey to the destination and then the destination to its own failures. The problem is not living as sheeps, but the true problem is living as a sheep for 100 years. For 100 years. Same fucking thing. But I feel like when it comes to your own mind, you have to realize that when it comes to seeking atonement for what you have done, you do have to forgive yourself, but you cannot expect others to forgive you for what you have done. So you either have to choose to shed those bearings or let them eat away at you, or let them keep stabbing you in the back like how atonement is. The thing is, when it comes to forgiveness, it's a two-way street. You can't just only forgive yourself for what you have done. You have to realize in order for a person to forgive you, you have to truly feel like that you have done something wrong and that you want to make right with it. And I think a lot of the time we tend to like to gloss over the fact that forgiveness is not inherently a thing that you need to do. Sometimes it's okay not to forgive. Forgiving is healing, yes, but forgiving too often, that shit is not only you turning a blind eye, it's you not realizing that you're letting the same thing happen again and again and again. And the thing is, I read from this post on Twitter about forgiveness not being, um, forgiveness is like at the end of the healing journey. It's not supposed to come first. You're supposed to have the anger. You're supposed to have the resentment. You're supposed to feel like, hey, this wasn't right. It should never happen. You're supposed to feel that way. But if you continue to let it happen, that is going to just build up. And then you won't even be peaceful among thorns. You'll just have a lot of thorns just sticking in your back for no reason. Or just have a lot of thorns around you for no reason. If it continues to happen, ask yourself, why am I still letting myself stay in this situation? Why am I still letting myself get treated this way? And I'm even saying this to myself because I know that in some ways I always just give benefit of the doubt to a bunch of people, but I realize that when or situations, not even just people, just situations in general, I always give the benefit of the doubt. But I know truly that when it comes to seeking atonement, I will always go to the person and not just beg for forgiveness. I'll be like, hey, I did something wrong. This is on me. I wouldn't even say always because sometimes I'll be so stuck in the motive where I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm wrong for that. And sometimes I am wrong even though I don't feel like I'm wrong, you know? But it takes me a while to realize that shit. And I feel like it's better to just realize than not realize at all. But I feel like when it comes to apologies and shit like that, apologies don't fix everything. You can apologize all you want, but your actions are going to speak louder than your words. Truly, it is. And it's not a lie when it's like, ooh, fuck. Actions are always going to speak louder than words. So we go to the source of our issues. I'm actually going to put these up. I'm actually feeling pulled to pull some more cards from here. Um, but let me put these up before they spill over again, because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. This has probably been the. This is not the longest reading. I've done PAL readings. Those take way longer and take so much time to edit. And literally, I'm just like saying fuck editing, and I'm just going to give a full blown experience. Full blown experience, uncut, unfiltered, and whatnot. I actually hate editing a lot. Can't tell that I said that, but I actually don't like editing a lot, but it takes a lot of time, and I do got the time. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I'm still working on that too. I'm working on patience. It just it takes a lot with having to have patience for myself for me to have patience with a lot of other things. Let's see what this source is about. You have null emptiness dot Makuth ground the kingdom. There's some more, but on the back you have Israfel, Angel of Songs. So I feel like the source is more so pointed to your inner wounds. Again, you see that the art has like holes in them. So it's kind of like you're just letting the wounds kind of expand. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. So that the emanation is a conduit. It radiates no light for itself, holds no shape, and touches nothing. It is perfect and invisible, a space which nothing and everything passes. In its arm, all 10 of the emanations dance, each of them signing a great light through its void. This emanation has no number, no color, no connection to the other emanation, in that it is unique. Its solitary nature sets it apart from other emanations in such a significant way that Da'at is sometimes considered to not exist at all. To give a name to the emptiness at the center of the tree is vital, and so too is the need to understand the significance of that empty, found in meditation, silence, and sleep. And it's interesting because it came right in the middle, like, you know, the middle. So, I feel like when it comes to that, it's like when it comes to feeling empty or not really feeling, uh, or feeling a void or apathy in that sense. Um, I myself have felt this many times, um, not only for other people but also for myself. And it's where depression kind of kicks in, because depression can make you feel apathy for everything and kind of gets you to the point to where you're just void. You're just a void, like a like not a black star, but a black hole that just isn't taking any light or isn't taking um, anything. It's just empty. But sorry, I'm getting distracted. But when it comes to the emptiness that lingers inside, we have to realize that that emptiness isn't just us not feeling anything. It's just needing something to fill that space. Whether it's through music, whether it's through singing, same thing as music, but whether it's through dancing, meditation, arts, reading, building stuff, you have that emptiness because it's something that you're missing. And the song that I'm hearing is from Arlo the Alligator. When they were singing, something was missing inside. Um, and I feel like you just haven't found the right the right thing that really motivates you to keep going and move forward. Maybe you have, but you're just lacking the fire to go for it because you're lacking the self confidence. Um, I myself have had that issue. Still kind of struggling with it in some other um, endeavors I want to go through. But Malkuth ground the kingdom. This is the last emanation, which is more so based in the roots and based in, you know, how the root chakra is, and, being this, giving yourself space to ground and be more in tune with your own self. You have to realize that when we allow ourselves to ground and when we allow ourselves the space to actually feel the emotions that we feel, we find them a lot easier to deal with. Instead of looking at them with judgment or looking at them with hate or, anything, it's more so of just those emotions, those wounds, they need to be heard and seen with compassion rather than being seen as something that shouldn't be there. They We're supposed to have negative and positive emotions because they keep us in balance. You're supposed to have that human experience of emotions. You're not even the only species that has those emotions. Every species has those type of emotions, whether we understand it or not, because when it comes to emotions, they're just parts of the experience of being a being. Not even a human being, just a being, just something that is just existing. It's parts of you. It's not something that you should shame or take out of you. In some ways, I'm not talking about toxic habits. Don't even get me wrong on there. I'm not talking about toxic habits and shit. Those are stuff. Those are things that you need to carve out and let loose, let go, put those far away from you as possible. But when it comes to building your own self, your self confidence, your self love, your self compassion, your self respect, those are things that you need to realize should be worthy in a sense of you being worthy of it. It doesn't make you a narcissist. What did K Town say in that one song? It doesn't make you a narcissist to love yourself. And I feel like if we had more love for ourselves, then we will have more love for the people and things that are around us, and we wouldn't really see them as oh, we I just kind of lost my point, but you know what I was going with that. You know what I was going with that. And the Angel of Songs, like, listen to music. You know, do whatever. Have some fucking fun. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your fucking life. Who's so aggressive? I'm sorry, that was aggressive as hell. Ooh, Samikio, Angel of Vengeance. Actually, I want to read him from the book. Hold on. Let's see. Here we are, Samikyo. When the time comes, we call its name. It is ever the instinct in our throat when we seek retribution. We choke on it as if we languish in every syllable. But those who call us Samikyo without cause will have harm fall back upon them threefold. It is the way of Samikyo's sword, cutting in both directions. When while we will gird our fragile hearts against being hurt, pain will make its attempts on us by any means necessary. It is in our soul to survive at all costs, even if it means violence. Try to resist the urges of your barbed heart. Samikyo knows not forgiveness, signs, a sword, a thorny branch, and pierced skin. So Samikyo is like all about getting revenge, you know? More so in a sense of getting the retribution that you need. And some people they seek revenge for the pettiest of things. That's why in most movies when you see the bad guy, they oftentimes are killed instead, or you know, they never win. Bad guys never win. But when you see that they seek revenge, not even just bad guys, when you see anti-heroes or uh, but when it comes to oh, I need you to shut the fuck out. Sorry, spaced out for a bit. But when it comes to, uh, I'll take Deadpool for example. You know he's an anti-hero, so he's not really so big on uh, not killing people. And most heroes you see, they don't kill people and stuff. But but fucking with my piercing, I shouldn't even be doing that. Anyway, when it comes to Deadpool, when he seeks revenge, when he gets revenge and stuff, it's like he's, or not even just when he's being petty. Like take for example, it was this one comic I can't remember, but he joined a team, right? But he was just being lazy as hell, and he wasn't doing anything. He was just like literally squatting in their house, and that was all. But when he got kicked out, he killed one of the new members. He killed a new member that was literally a grasshopper guy that was just hopping in, and he just fucking killed him. No reason whatsoever. Because of the own nature of his habits and him not actually being serious about working in a team, he fucked him all stuff up. Um, I don't know why I did that example, but you know, I, fuck it. But it's like he seeks revenge for getting kicked out, so he just killed another member. But and there's also another thing when it comes to Deadpool, like when in the Spider Pool saga, that series, Spider-Man and Deadpool. Um, Deadpool was like to Spider-Man that or Peter like he was like you made me a better person. And this was like in the itsy bitsy um kind of situation that was going on because he was like Spider-Man can't kill and Spider-Man was dead set on killing itsy bitsy, which is like their hybrid daughter that wasn't even their daughter, like it was like a hybrid that was just made from both of their DNA, so technically a daughter, technically not, but she was trying to kill them, and Deadpool, instead of letting, because he did give up his ways of killing and stuff, But instead of Spider-Man killing him, um, he actually he killed her himself, and this had him revert from back to back to how his skin and shit was before, because he had his old face back, but then he got back to how his healing factor fucked with his skin, and because he had cancer and shit, so it was weird. But it was like I don't know how to explain it, but in that entire scene, Spider-Man wanted to get revenge, but Deadpool stepped in his place and actually dealt with the repercussions that came with it. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but when it comes to Samikyo, it's like Spider-Man had a good reason for enacting that revenge, but instead of him doing it, it was Deadpool that was doing it. You know, it's a good reason, but still. So I guess it kind of played out in a different way because he still got his revenge, just wasn't in his own hands. You know what I mean? So I was talking about earlier. You have the Knight of Wands again. You guys are so fucking hilarious. You have the Seven of Swords and Strength. And on the back of the deck, you have the Page of Swords. It's chaos. Anyway, it was in reverse too, but so you see how this person, and it was in reverse. Yes, it was. But you see how this person has these knives in their bag, and they're picking up the knives, even though they have the knives in their bag. I don't know if can you see that? I think you can. But you see how they have the knives in their bag, and then they're picking up the other knives as if that's going to do them any better. It's like, and you see, with the Knight of Wands, it's like, and the moon is in the back, or that's the sun. I'm pretty sure that's the sun, because it's like a blue sky, but it's like you're waking up from the dead, and you're just like, oh, I gotta smell the roses, wake up and smell the roses. Um, and I feel like when it comes to strength, you're going to find that will in excuse me, you're going to find that will in you. You're going to find that will in you. It's just going to take some time and patience with your own self. Um, and you have to realize it is a journey when it comes to self love. It is a journey when it comes to giving compassion. It is a journey when it comes to building trust. And it's not going to always feel like, it's not always going to feel right, because there's always going to be those lingering self-doubts if you let them linger on. But it's just a matter of will, of being like, I'm sick of this. I want to change this. So what the hell are you gonna do about it? I'm sorry. What the hell are you gonna do about it? You're gonna fucking change it because you're worth it. You are deserving. And you have to not only hear that from somebody else, you have to say that to yourself. You are worth it and you are deserving of everything that you put your mind to. Um, I actually do have two more things, but I'm just going to end it off here. Um, actually, no. I'm going to get. I'm going to get just a few of these. Just a few. Today I am happy. Today happiness and love will fill my heart and soul all day. Today I will look ahead. Today I will see my future. It is a beautiful life and I am looking forward to it. And on the back you have, today I am in change. Today I am in control of how I feel. Nobody can make me feel any other way than happy. So that's it, party people. I hope you have an amazing day, morning, or night. Um, and keep it juicy in the koozie and peace the fuck out.